Hello, my name is Petersilvera. I am a student at Mount Vernon STEAM Academy, currently being a judicial intern at Mount Vernon City Court for the Honorable Nichelle A. Johnson. Did I mention I'm 17? I don't think so. So today I'm going to be speaking about the political state of America. Right now, our political climate is deeply unsettled. And as you can see, there has been millions of people tweeting, posting on every social media platform you could think of about the political state of America right now, specifically the presidential state, the congressional state. I specifically want to touch on America's part in abiding by the social contract. I feel people are blinded, people are maybe too comfortable, but we are in such state right now after so many years of witnessing it and nobody taking action. It's ridiculous. We are in a state where we have to abide by the social contract. We have full permission to abide by the social contract. And by the millions of tweets that I see on social media, you would think that we'd act by the social contract right now, which is also a theory that suggests individuals implicitly or explicitly agree to give up certain freedoms in exchange for protection of rights and an organized society. Now, we have an organized society. Do we have protection of our rights though? No, we do not. And I'm going to simply explain why we do not. Now, with due diligence and proper research, I did gather on all the rights that I feel have been broken in all these recent years, and I bet you billions of others feel the same way. So I want to touch on the national security versus civil liberties. As you all know, we have privacy rights. And after 9/11, the Patriot Act was implemented, where massive surveillance was implemented. We had the NSA spying on American phone records. We had people detained without a fair trial being presented to them due to the fact that they were under terrorist suspicions. And all throughout this, the government claimed that it was for safety and security. But that just sparks another controversial topic, to where is the government allowed to break constitutional rights when it regards to national security? I want to touch on racial disparities in policing and justice. There has been higher rates of Latino Americans, Black Americans, and indigenous peoples for higher rates of police stops, searches, arrests, convictions. Supreme Court rulings sometimes protect law enforcement over individuals, which is another thing. Like, we have cases like Tamir Rice, 2014, Cleveland, Ohio, innocent boy murdered by a cop. We have Michael Brown, 2014, Ferguson, Missouri, innocent boy murdered by a cop. We have Eric Garner, 2014, New York City, innocent boy murdered by a cop. Guess what? All three cops did not go to jail. So it just speaks volume. It speaks immense volume to where we stand with the protection of the law enforcement, clearly very higher than our own citizens. So the technically equal protection exists, but it's not enforced equally. We have economic equality. There's laws heavily favoring corporations and wealthy individuals, to where there's tax loopholes. There are corporate influence on legislation with lobbying and united citizen decisions. We have poor people that often lack access to equality, legal representation, healthcare, basic resources, and these economic structures can undermine the rights government claims to protect. Now, I want to shout out Mount Vernon City Court, Counsel Hartman, Counsel Ayub. Great attorneys, amazing attorneys, defend their less wealthy clients with the utmost defense. I want to touch on protests and free speech crackdowns, with people protesting racial injustice and climate changes and labor rights, and they get kettled, tear gassed, and arrested and shot. There was an innocent woman shot for holding a sign. Are we clear? I can pull up the video. There was an innocent woman holding a sign and got shot. There's cops shooting, throwing tear gas at people, beating people in California for protesting, as it's a constitutional right to gather and assemble to advocate for something that you believe is right, or any belief that you believe in. You have the right to assemble and advocate for it. So that is insane violation of right. And guess who ordered it? Donald Trump. So it's like states pass laws increasing the penalties for protest-related offenses and the chilling effect on the right to free speech and assembly. And that's another thing. Schneck versus United States. He had free speech, but why? was he convicted? Why? Why did he go on trial? Because he exercised his free speech. He has the right to tell people not to go to war. You have immigration enforcement, ICE raids without warrants. You have children reported from parents at the border. You have children also being separated. You have due process denied to many migrants. You have human rights advocates argue there are constitutional and moral violations. You have so many things wrong with how our rights have been protected for countless of years. Now, why haven't Americans acted on the social contract and tried to alter or abolish the government? Well, there's a caseload of reasons. You have the reason that these people are working jobs. This connects back to David Graeber's phenomenon of BS jobs, where people are too busy to revolt against the government because they're stuck in their own struggle, paying their own bills, working a job, trying to survive. Then you have material comfort and distraction. You have people that have Netflix now, DoorDash now, ACs. You can keep going on and on. Discomfort people in the 1700s and 1800s didn't have, as well as now somebody that's considered struggling in the U.S. has way more comfort than a peasant in 1776 or early 1800s. You have people knowing that revolutions require pain and dysfunction and food shortages and electricity shortages, and people may be frustrated with the government, yes, but they're not that hopeless to where they'll put themselves in risk for the government. Next, you have fear of chaos and violence. Americans have witnessed revolutions and have witnessed civil wars, and it has instilled that idea into their head that, hey, we do not want to engage in any war. We do not want to engage in anything. I mean, for Christ's sakes, we saw how people reacted to Trump bombing Iran. Everybody thought the world was over, right? So, a lot of people do not want to experience war at all, and that's exactly why they won't challenge the government, because they have to deal with the consequences of challenging the people who are breaking these constitutional rules. Now, you also have fragmentation in identity. In the 1700s or 1800s, people saw themselves as one body, the colonies, the South. And today's identity is fractured upon or based upon race, gender, politics, religion, economics, and internet subcultures. So when George Floyd happened, there was a significant cause, and there was a cause that everybody knew, and which was clear. It was racial injustice. Moving on from racial injustice, we have belief in lawful reform. We have people that believe change happens at the ballot box and in courts and throughout protests rather than revolution. And the system says it can self-correct, so people tend to believe in that hope and want to believe in that hope. And that's why people get excited with courts more than insurrections, because we're looking for that peaceful option and that self-fix option. Moving on, we have surveillance and social pressure. We have governments and corporations watching everything, which makes organizing a revolution way riskier. We have social media and our neighbors and our friends and our colleagues knowing exactly what we believe in if we attempt to revolt. And social media always plays as an influence as well, and it makes you feel like, hey, if I do this and try to act on the social contract, I'll be looked at as an outsider and a crazy person and a weirdo, when realistically we just be abiding by the social contract that the US is supposedly built on. Now, people also fear losing their jobs and becoming a pariah or getting doxxed. This keeps other people in check as well. Now, I want to touch on the new definition of activism. People feel like they did their part by posting, by donating, I guess, by protesting peacefully. The modern mindset is incremental change and not violent overthrow, compared to how it was back in the old times where people didn't have anything to lose. So they acted on this stuff. We have Also, the George Floyd protests were huge, but still inside the system. You know, they sought justice and not a new government. Now, has the social contract died? I want to say yes and I want to say no, man. I'm here to advocate for what I think is right, though. So I'm gonna say no, it hasn't, but it's evolved. It's evolved. It's not the same social contract that was put into place by our great Enlightenment philosophers. We have people wanting change within the system instead of replacing the system or replacing the government. We have the term abolish or alter the government feeling extreme to Americans because the American government sells itself as fixable. The social contract still exists, but modern life, technology, and fragmented identity keeps people from uniting for massive upheaval. The bottom line is times have shifted because fear, comfort, complexity, and surveillance all conspire together to make people passive or focused on smaller, more personal battles instead of a grand political upheaval. I think that's it. I think that's my full viewpoint on it. I think I've spoken my whole truth about this situation, and I'm willing to hear what anybody has to say. If you want to drop a comment, if you want to email me, that will be in the description. I will 9 times out of 10 reply. If you want to connect with me and talk to me on LinkedIn, I'm also there as well. So without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.